What's up, everybody? Yeah, we got one view already. Awesome. Just give it a few seconds, everybody, for people to come in and show up, and then I'll just start talking in a minute, anyways. If not, I'm gonna do a discussion today. The live discussion will be mainly for new injuries, or just like stuff that you should be thinking about or looking at when coming out of rehab and just right after your injury, or even for the first couple years of your injury, still sort of a new injury. Right on, got a couple viewers, cool. We'll wait just another minute or so. If you guys have any questions or anything, go ahead and pop them up now. I can do a couple real quick, and then we'll get into the discussion in a few minutes, or in a minute or two. Hey, what's up, Mason? Aaron, how's it going again? Good to see you again. Oh. See, I did the 5K last weekend. That was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys were here for last week talking about all the recreation stuff. The 5K was pretty cool. I did 42 minutes, which was 4 minutes slower than last year, but still decent pace, I think. Alright, we'll just give it a few more seconds and I'll go ahead and just start. I was gonna pretty much start with just rehab and coming out of rehab and stuff. So actually, alright, that's been 2 minutes now. We'll go ahead and give it a go. So mainly what I was going to talk about, and I was actually talking earlier today about how rehab times have gotten so much shorter for people. Like when I did my rehab, I did about 9 weeks of rehab. It was just about 2 full months. Now, from what I hear, you're lucky to get 5 weeks. Like 4 to 5 weeks is pretty much, the standard. That's so, and even 2 months is kind of short, but 5 weeks or a month is really short. I feel like that's just too short of a rehab time, and a lot of people are going home just without knowledge that they should have. And yeah, so one of the main things about that is trying, when you're getting out of rehab, is trying, if hopefully the rehab you went to has some sort of support group or any type of like disability community, if they have meetups or anything like that, even once a month, every other month, something, anything like that you can try to get into. Just being in the disabilities community is really helpful, because like for me, I honestly didn't learn a lot of my stuff until I got to meet a lot of the rugby guys, and once I met and started doing rugby stuff, I started seeing kind of what all was possible. And I think that when you first come out of rehab, sometimes you're in a little bit of a bubble and you don't know what all is possible. You really don't know what you're capable of doing, as everybody's been treating you like you're a baby and doing everything for you. And well, I'll get to that question in a second, Adam, about the suprapubic. So yeah, pretty much, sorry. Yeah, I was in rehab 20 years ago see, there you go, for 6 months. Yeah, see, that's what, back years ago, it used to be a lot longer, like 20, 30 years ago, you were in there for even, I guess, up to 8 and 9 months, that back 30 plus years ago, and it just doesn't happen anymore. Insurances aren't going to pay for you to be at rehab that long. And it's just, it's really hard to transition. That was actually my hardest time I've had with the injury, was that first probably year or so out of 2 years ago. Yeah, 5 weeks of rehab. See, 5 weeks is way too short. That's definitely too short. So like, it's just it's really hard for sure to make that transition. And that's what I had the hardest time that first year or so, because when I came out of rehab, I did a few things I learned in OT. I was able to somewhat feed myself. I was able to do a couple basic things, but I by no means could transfer. I sat in a manual chair. That was before I even had the emotions, just because I was so determined to be in a manual chair, because the guy Bobby I talked about last week, is was my mentor, and he was. I'm gonna get all of those questions in a second too. Sorry, guys. But so he was in a manual chair, and he fought through it and pushed and pushed, and still to this day is in a manual chair and doesn't even have emotions like I do, and still just, and he's a C5, just does all kinds of stuff. So like that first year or whatever, I honestly didn't do much for myself. I didn't try. I sat at home all day, just kind of wasting away, really not doing anything. And it took a little bit longer. It took, when I started going out to the spinal cord injury groups again, I started going to the support groups, and then that's when I ran into and met my friend Mike, who's the rugby guy, which Bobby tried to get me into rugby before too, but Mike sort of took me to the next level. And once I went out and saw what him and these other guys were capable of at the rugby thing, like it kind of blew me away. And at first I was nervous, afraid of it. I went home, wanted no part of those guys for a few months, but I did start working out and doing my own thing, little arm weights, like little 1 and 2 pound arm weights, just doing whatever I could, doing TheraBands and stuff. So once I sort of got a little bit stronger and was able to push my chair, I decided to go out and try out the rugby a little bit. And then once I got there, it was like, damn, Mason, 29 days in rehab? Jesus, that sucks, dude. I'm so sorry. 4 weeks, like, that's just crazy. It's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's just so hard, when they're kicking people out of rehab in 4 to 5 weeks because insurance doesn't want to pay for you to be there. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy. So, I hope that changes, but it seems like it's changing more for the worse, not the better right now. But throw it back to 1 pound weights, yeah. So yeah, dude, I mean that's pretty much what I started with. Like I just started, and I was doing a little bit of outpatient rehab. I still did have once or twice a week. I had outpatient rehab where I did a PT and an OT, and they were little sessions. A lot of the PT was just stretching and stuff most of the time when I went in there. I didn't do a lot of actual work. The OT was beneficial. I got learned all little stuff, how to pick little things up, and use tenodesis to your function or best function, and be able to do what you can with it and stuff. But yeah, after I think I did like 6 weeks maybe of outpatient rehab after I went home. So however many sessions, 6, 12 sessions or whatever it was, and then they kind of just sent me on my way. And honestly, like I could not do anything at that point for myself when I came out of rehab. Like I would sit at home all day while my family, my dad and brothers were at work, and just sit in my chair holding on to this, like whatever, watching TV, all slouched down, and just I couldn't transfer. I couldn't really do much of anything. I just sat there. So yeah, doing stuff like rugby or even just going to the support groups is really what started getting me going, and just being able to talk to people and just getting that sort of help is really beneficial. So any of you guys, well, if you're watching the videos, it's probably helping. I'm sure you're watching a ton of other YouTube videos and different people and their methods and things, how everyone does their own thing, like Mason and stuff. He's got all kinds of cool videos too and does all kinds of cool stuff. So like yeah, that's really good for people. And there wasn't really that many videos when I first got out. So for me to get into rugby, that was just my big thing. Like once you got into rugby, and then not only guys on my team, but you start traveling and you start meeting and making friends with other guys in other states, and just like you see all the stuff they do, and it's just crazy. So that's just that is one of the reasons why I started the channel, just to try to show stuff, because I know people in other parts of the country, you guys might not have access to the same stuff. Like I'm luckily in the Southern California area. There's a rugby team that practices 30 minutes from my house. Like that's not everybody is that fortunate to have stuff like that. So your videos are educational. That's awesome, man. Yeah, or just life for a paraplegic. Yeah, I mean you don't have to be the same function level. Like anything you can see to help you. Sometimes seeing somebody with less function do something can help you do something even more for yourself. So, Mason, being in it for 20 minutes, I didn't get to have much therapy, and then couldn't find any videos. Oh man, yeah, sorry, bro, that sucks. Not being able to find the videos and stuff. What was gonna Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what I when I started my YouTube as well. It just kind of, and one was because I had such a unique transfer, and that's my transfer. I learned from my friend Mike, the guy I've been talking about, my like mentor sort of dude. He's the only one I ever really saw that did the same transfer as I do with the elbow. He showed it to me. I was like, I don't think I can do it like that. But after enough time and working and stuff, I eventually got to where I was like, oh, I think I can do this. And then I started working out more and more and got to the point where I can do this. And it became a lot easier and stuff. So, and that's the thing too. You have to think when you're coming out of rehab, you can't expect life to be easy. Like, I'm sorry, it sucks. It's just the unfortunate part of it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take hard work and it's going to take time. You're going to have hard ass days that suck and sometimes you don't want to do it, but that's, I mean, everybody has, hard days and stuff. It's just so your days might feel a little harder trying to figure out how to, feed yourself or get on the toilet or whatever, you're trying to figure out at that point. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a struggle, but nothing good comes easy, you have to work hard for it. So, hey, how's it going? Daniel, sorry, I'm trying to view the chat and keep going, and then I'm gonna go back and make sure I get to all the chat questions in just a few minutes. Sorry, I have a little list. Yeah, so taking things day by day, basically, just like trying not to overdo it on some days, or like if you don't get discouraged because you're not moving fast enough. It's going to take you a while to learn how to transfer. It's going to take you a while to learn how to do everything you need to do, how to dress, how to drive, one step at a time, one thing at a time. That's all I can suggest or say, you just gotta work for it. Yeah, and like I said, anytime you can be part of a disability community and stuff, or even just on Facebook, like there's a lot of different spinal cord injury groups or different paralysis groups, whatever. Join those, check them out. There's all kinds of stuff on there. You can post, ask questions on there. Plus, people like me, Mason, others on YouTube. Just feel free to reach out and ask. I'm always willing, to answer questions and stuff if you guys will reach out, and especially to quads and stuff. But I mean, anything, if you guys need help, just any sort of advice or something. Alright, let me try to click back here and see some of these chat. There we go. I'm gonna go back to the very top. So Adam asked, do I have any problems with suprapubic catheter balloon not deflating? No, not deflating. That's not something I have had problems with. One time I had a defective balloon where they filled it up, and then when I went to transfer and get out, it just fell out, just slipped out because the balloon didn't hold the liquid, didn't hold water. But no, that's the only issue like that I've ever had. Besides all the other issues you may have seen with inflation problems in the wrong spots and cutting me open. But Al, yeah, see, rehab 20 years ago, he was in there for 6 months. Like, that's way better. If everyone would get 6 months of rehab, you would be so much better and more well equipped to enter the world. And get back to life. It's just so hard to transition when they give you 29 days like Mason. That's just crazy. Or even 5 weeks to go for Dylan, or 5 weeks 2 years ago. Sorry. And that was for a T9 spinal cord. Now it's nice. Al, you started working with 5-pound weights 2 days ago. There you go. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Just work on your arms, build up your strength as much as you can. The stronger you are, the easier it is just to do basic stuff. The easier everyday life stuff will be, because you're not gonna wear out as fast, just pushing your chair, transfers and stuff. It can get wearing, if you're out doing a lot for a day, you're transferring 20 times and all that, it'll wear on you. So you got to work out. Oh, and let's see here, what else we got. Man, I still can't believe 29 days for Mason. That's crazy. Hi to BC, Canada, and Poland. Awesome. That's cool. International audience. I don't know if in other countries what the support is like. If you guys have support groups, or if you have, or how the rehab is, or if insurance is any different. From Scotland too. How's it going, Gary? Cool. Awesome. From all over the world. Adam, do you have any tips for reducing sediment in suprapubic tube? I get mine changed every 2 weeks because of infections. Wow. See, I get mine every 3 weeks because I was having problems with sediment and blockage. So what I have gotten, and I a couple months ago had mine block up because I had stopped flushing. So one of the things I do to prevent the sediment buildup in my catheter is I flush, which I have a flushing video, and I use half just sterile water and then half this acidic solution. And you can check it out in the video. Yeah, those are, I think 2 of my dogs are sleeping on my bed back there. That is my dog. Yeah, so what I do for the suprapubic is I do the flush every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, basically. When I have my caregiver there for when I'm doing my bowel stuff, I will also have him help me flush the catheter. And I only usually use about, I think it's about 30 mils, about 15 of each. And so I do about a 30 mil flush. I just fill the syringe, flush it through into my bladder. Usually not like really hard, but with a little bit of pressure, so it will knock out anything in the way. And then I don't pull back on it. I just, once it's in, I like clamp it and then hook up the tube and just let the sediment stuff come out. And it usually comes out cloudy, like it comes out like all white, like just a cloud. So like it is, that stuff is definitely breaking up sediment in there, because when it comes back out, it's coming back out just like thick white stuff. It's not, it's not clear urine. So that's that's the one main thing that I do. And then yeah, changing every 3 weeks too is a lot. Like with me, when I mentioned a couple weeks ago in the discussion about catheters, when I get mine changed, hopefully when I get my Botox in a few weeks, it might change it a little bit. But right now, when I get my catheter changed, I'll pee on myself for 24 hours or like till the next day. Like my bladder will still spasm a little bit, and I'll just leak urine. And there's nothing. I don't know. The Botox helps. When I had the fresh Botox, it was helping. But when I had the fresh Botox, is like right around the time I was having all the issues with them, like tearing me open and bleeding and all that stuff. So I kind of, it was hard to tell then how much it helped. But yeah, so that's every 2 weeks would be hard for me, because I'd be dealing with peeing on myself every couple weeks like that. Luckily for me, use an external catheter, that's cool. I was so comfortable in rehab. I was sad when I had to leave. Yeah, so Al, that's exactly, that was my hardest thing. Like I thought everything was great when I was in rehab, or not great, but it seemed easy enough. I had 24-hour nursing care, doing therapy every day, and I had a lot of visitors. I had people every single day at the hospital and stuff, because I was close enough, and just between all my family and friends and stuff, I constantly had visitors. So like I was never bored or lonely or anything. So rehab was great for me, and that's what, once I got the boot and went back home, that's when like life set in, really. Like you realize, oh shit, this is gonna be hard. And it's, like then you don't have a 24-hour care, like you don't have a nursing button you can just hit and call and all that, so it's that's definitely one of the harder things, that transition, getting home. And I mean, I can't even imagine going home after just like a month of rehab. Luckily I had a couple months, so I was fortunate enough to be hurt almost 15 years ago now. So We got, do you get dysreflexia a lot? I do get mild dysreflexia actually, mainly from my bladder, and then I also get it like, uh, but not bad. I just get like warm, like on like I don't know, when I have an infection or have anything like that, or any blockage or just anything like that. And then yeah, I also like I have I don't know, yeah, like minor dysreflexic things that happen, like if my I lay on my tube or something at night and it gets slightly blocked up, I'll wake up just feeling warm, and then once I free my tube and get kind of get good, it goes away. I only get the real bad dysreflexic stuff like when I was having the crazy blockage or more major problems, but not often. Luckily, I'm actually, I mean, pretty fortunate, honestly, as to have a lot of stuff that not terrible stuff that comes with. So, I mean, obviously there's some tough stuff that comes with, but let me see here. Sorry. How do I deal with spasticity? So, I pretty much, for my spasticity, I stretch for like an hour, not like an hour, for an hour every morning before I get out of bed. I do both legs, stretch them out, up and down. I lay on my stomach for about 10 to 15 minutes, stretching my hips and back and everything. And then I basically try to keep moving through the day. Like if I've been in the chair all day, more than 4 or 5 hours, I'll usually I get pretty spastic. I get like really, like, legs kicking real hard. I gotta like clear space spastic. Like people want to grab me and keep me from flying out of the chair, even though I usually am pretty good at riding out the wave of spasticity. But honestly, that's pretty much just moving and doing that. And then, like, I used to, since I don't take any spasm medication, I wish I need to use a standing frame. And no, I don't use a standing frame, but I need to, and I should, and everybody should. We all should be trying to stand at least a couple times a week. And I have an old standing frame. It's just got some parts kind of broken, and I think a few parts missing. I need to sort of get fixed, which if I can, I just need to get somebody out here to check it out and kind of like rig it back together. So how much medical marijuana? Yeah, so that's what I was gonna bring up. Is the only thing I don't take I do smoke, but in the last 6 months, a year or so, I stopped smoking during the day. So like today I haven't. I will smoke probably like right before I eat dinner in a couple hours, and then right before I go to bed. But what I have been doing, which I actually have here, but it's out now. So because I don't want to be too out of it during the day. I'm trying to be a lot more active and doing a lot more. So I got CBD pens actually, which I can't even pick up off my desk right now, but it's like it's the same thing, a little CBD one though. And that's just CBDs, so there's no psychoactive effect or anything like that. And the CBDs actually have been helping a lot for my spasticity during the day. I have those, and I got some pills that are just like CBD pills, and I have been using them, and they've been really helping me get through. Like when I have long days and I'm out all day, and it's like 5 or 6, and normally when I'm really starting, like at that point, I can feel it in my back and my legs. Like every muscle in my body wants to just fire and kick and go crazy. The CBD seemed to actually mellow it out and relax. But smoking, just regular smoking medical marijuana, helps a lot too. It's more effective, but it also lowers my blood pressure and makes me a little bit weaker. And I mentioned that in the last discussion too, the lower blood pressure and kind of low blood sugar kind of drops like everything. Like when I get hungry, it just get so weak and so fatigued. And I know that's more of a quad thing, but it happens to everybody. But I know high level quads, it's super prominent for that. Like we get like the blood pressure dump, like, and I'm so weak. Like, so that's one of the main reasons why. So like when I'm out and doing stuff, it's really hard for me to take a hit off my vape pen, normal one, and then I get kind of like lightheaded, and then you'll see me rocking or doing the crazy lean backs and stuff because I'm just trying to get blood to my brain at that point. All right, let me see. Sorry, there's more. Yeah, my blood pressure runs low all the time. It runs low. If I'm sitting in my chair, it's between 80 and 90 for like my top one, my systolic, whatever it is. Sorry, I'm trying to read and think. So yeah, I'm pretty low blood pressure. So yeah. No, I don't have the same blood pressure dumps as CBD oil. Slightly, I notice I get uh like a slight I can feel it go down a little bit, and I think that's mainly because my muscles and stuff are relaxing. One of the reasons why I think my blood pressure I stay up so much is because I have so much spasticity. So when I'm not smoking, everything's really tight, and it keeps me being able to keeps my blood pressure up. So once I relax and let my body relax and chill, that blood pressure just kind of dumps with it. I'm sorry, let me go back a couple. I know there was some I missed here. Questions. Taryn, oh yeah, sorry, did you have, I did not have a rugby tournament last week. Or 2 weeks ago, we should have had one in Reno, but it was a low point tournament, which is all the lower point, like the guys like me, more the lower functioning players. But I missed it because I just didn't want to drive my van up there. It's not running super great right now, and it's like an 8-hour drive or 7-hour drive, and I just didn't want to do it. So, let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, look, Scott, you're looking into CBD. Yeah, CBD is really good, honestly. In Portugal, not legal. CBD should be legal in Portugal. CBD should be legal everywhere, I think, because they're non-psychoactive. You can just order. I bought my CBD pen thing just through a regular. It was they do it's like a herbal remedy store. They have all kinds of different tinctures and stuff like that. If I don't get spasms, I'm sure. Because I take Xanax? Yeah, I'm sure Xanax would knock your spasms out. Yes, man. I don't think I could do that. I see, I can't take any, really. I don't take any opiates or anything, any or Valium or Xanax or any of those type of things, because it just makes me way too out of it. I have gotten some kidney stones, Gary. I have gotten some stones, not recently, but when I was first injured, I would get big stones in my bladder that would block up the catheter and cause problems and stuff. And I was having to get cystoscopies every few months to have them. They were going in and laser blasting them out and stuff. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just my diet, I drink more water, flush it better. I haven't had any in a few years, so yeah. And if I do have them in there, in the bladder at least, they'll be able to blast them when they do the Botox cystoscopy thing. Let me see here. Have you seen the new adaptive controller for Xbox? Yeah, I have, Brandon, actually. That thing looks really cool, and you can get all kinds of different stuff to adapt to. That looks awesome. I didn't grow up being much of a gamer. I was always wanting to be outside playing as a kid and stuff. I'm old. I was the younger generation, so I was outside a lot. But my little brother and stuff loved games, and I like games, and if I was better at them, I might try to check that out, or I may still try to check it out if I just don't have an Xbox. But that controller looked awesome. They give you a bad infection. Oh, for the stones. Yeah, no, in stones, anytime you have a stone, that's why I was having really bad infections when they were in my bladder. Really small stones that look like sand. Yeah, see, well, I get tons of sediment, small chunks of stuff. And I even had when I did my last catheter change, I thought it was pretty weird. I had a really hard triangle shaped shard come through my catheter, and it was pretty good size too. And it was definitely a solid piece of something. It was hard. because I usually the sediment is like a little cloudy and it'll like kind of like break apart as it goes down, like as it comes out into like little sandy chunks, like grainy ones. But this was like a solid shard that came out, which was super crazy. um, Let me see. I think that's all the questions. Sorry if I'm all over the place, you guys. um, did I get to everything? Did I miss anybody's question? I'm sorry if I did. Go ahead. You can try to ask it again and remind me. In Poland, hemp oil is for prescription. Oh, really? And not every doctor. Wow, in Poland you can't even get just hemp oil, like CBD hemp oil. That's crazy. It's non-psychoactive. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. I thought you could kind of just that was everywhere, but I guess yeah, different countries. Because yeah, CBDs definitely are a pretty cool option. And I've been taking the CBD pills when I go to bed, and they really seem to help. I've been sleeping better as well too. But do you have any advice? Oops, sorry, Mason. Let me see. Do you have any advice on what kind of hand bike to get? I wish I did. I don't. But I am going to be looking into getting my own hand cycle soon. I really have been liking doing the hand cycle rides, and they're a really tough workout. That hand cycle ride was actually way harder for me. I had to stop. Like, it was way harder for me than the 5K I just did on Saturday. Which I think the distance was similar. I think in the hand cycle I did about 2 miles. The 5K is, like 2.5 or so. But in my rugby chair, the 5K was no problem. That was no problem. But the hand cycle is like a completely different workout. It's a really good workout though. It's good. But I don't have any good advice for you, Mason. I'm sorry, but when I do, I will let you know for sure. Brandon, same way. Oh yeah, no, that's cool. The Xbox was looking at that's awesome that they're the first one to make any type of adaptive stuff. And then Scott, sorry, keep asking, but what dosage for CBD? So for CBD, the little pills I got they're 15 milligram hemp CBD pills, and then the little vape pen thing I got, it says it was 100 milligram, and it says that there's like 100 hits in it, or like vape doses. So it's basically like 1 milligram a piece, and I was using it like 2 times, 3 times when I would use it, like 2 or 3 like puffs on it. So, and I'm still trying to figure out my dosing on CBDs because I've never really done just CBDs like that. But it's been working actually. So I'm trying to keep it minimal as well because buying extra stuff is not great either. So, but yeah, between the two of them, they have been working really well. So I've been doing the CBD, the pills at night, and then just using a little vape pen during the day for when I start to feel real tight, my spasms start to feel like they're kind of building up and getting a little crazy. Another thing I do for spasms, if somebody asked earlier, I know, is if I can feel them building up, sometimes I'll just wait till hope I'm in a place where I can, and I'll just let them rip. Like, I'll kind of start to spasm out and let it kick, and just let my legs go crazy, kick everywhere, hold on for the ride, which they're kind of wanting to build right now. I can feel everything tightening. Sometimes if I don't want to do that, I just breathe really slow my breathing, almost go into like a meditation. I can let it pass for now, but it's gonna come back. Yeah, during a transfer. So like during a transfer, that's one thing too. You kind of have to learn. You want to let them out first before you go for your transfer. Kick your legs down, let them kick out, do a little thing, do kind of crazy. Like they might do that. They're gonna kick around a little bit. So just let them do it for a second. let them kick it out of them. Get that out, and then once they're out, you kind of settle them down, breathe, and try to go for your transfer. And you never do want to go. If you feel like you're going to spasm, wait a second. Because it's not a good idea to go for the transfer, especially if you're by yourself. Don't do that. Like, that's the only times I've ever really had big troubles or like fallen is because of spasming during a transfer. And usually you can tell like you're really spastic, and I'll be like in a hurry maybe. You're just like, I can just push through it and go. And all of a sudden, no, like my body decides it wants to kick back this way or out this way, and all of a sudden you're in a bad spot, and you don't want to do that to yourself. So let's see here. Have I ever heard of Batic? I don't think so. Is that BATC? I don't know. It's not only legal marijuana smoke, it's work. Sorry, I don't know. Gregor's. I just let the. Yeah. Pretty much just let the spasms go. And I don't know what the Batic is. No, actually, I haven't heard of that. Or I'm just not thinking of it right now. Was it a medication or. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you can. I'll look it up afterwards if not. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions. I can keep going. I just don't want this to be too long for people to watch afterwards. But yeah, well, let me know. I'm hanging out. Maybe get this water for a second. But But yeah, if you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know. And then next week, I'll be back next Tuesday at 4:30 again. We'll do another live discussion stuff. See, try So's video for cooking. I don't do a lot of my own cooking, but I will do a video on how I have my caregiver make food, pre-pepper it, and then how I get it ready and serve myself. Do you have a special diet or do you drink water only? So I drink a lot of water. I do drink maybe like a soda a day with dinner. A lot of times I'll drink like a Coke, which I usually honestly don't finish a whole can of Coke. And I mainly do drink a lot of water. I try to eat fairly healthy. I try not to eat too much fast food or too much just crappy food. Not that I've done that my whole life or when I was younger, so just more lately. I'm getting older now, so I'm trying to take care of myself a little bit more. But no real special diet. I just try to eat pretty healthy, and I do drink a lot of water. I don't do too much sugar, too many like just junk food stuff. Even though I have a full junk food drawer full of cookies and Hostess cupcakes and ding dongs and all kinds of crap, and I usually eat one of those a night, like one thing, usually after dinner. Sorry, now you guys are asking a bunch of questions. Let me catch up to them all. Type in Batic. It's a mobile adaptation for wheelchair. Okay, I'll check it out after Gary for sure. I'll look it up. Nice, because there's no burning oil. Sorry. I said 5 days a week. Yeah, spasticity and pressure. Yeah, your blood pressure. That probably helps so much too. Yeah, because when you're standing like that, you're forcing your body, the blood pressure. Your heart's stronger. It's much better for your body. Yeah, no, that's awesome. If you can stand 5 days a week, that's fantastic. Like, I honestly suggest everybody, if you guys can stand, even though I don't do it and I'd really like to start doing it, I just have to get somebody to fix that thing or try to get a new standing frame, I guess, or something. But the one I have is probably like 25 years old and it's missing stuff, and I was just given to me by somebody that had it sitting in their garage. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it, I'll use it, I'll get it fixed, and never really fully did, but I need to. Sorry, let me double check that again. Oh, there goes some spasms. Alright, see you later, Gregors. Take it easy in Poland. It's 2 a.m. Wow, I'm sorry. Have a good night, man. Hope you sleep well. And 1 a.m. in the UK. Wow, you guys are staying up late for that's. I appreciate that. Really cool. Well, I'll let you guys all in Europe and the UK and everything get to bed then. Uh, uh, Probably. Yeah, Scott. I don't know. Right on. So yeah, I'll guess I'm just gonna kind of wrap it up here, you guys. Next week again, 4:30 p.m. or middle of the night for you guys in Europe. But yeah, next Tuesday we'll be back around, and let me know if you guys have any topics. You can message me here, Instagram, Twitter, email me at sean@liveToroll.org. Anything you guys want, and I'll try to put a topic thing together for next week. But all right, guys, take it easy, everybody. Live to roll. Get a fist bump. Have a good one, everybody.